Hi, welcome to my studio. My name's Annette and I've been painting windows and murals for over 35 years. Today we would like to show you how to use our wonderful sponges to make your window painting and other projects a lot easier. We believe in working smart, not hard. This is how we're going to start today. We have a stencil on the window and then we're going to show you how to use the sponges in just a moment. Now we're going to start with the Sharpie and we're going to trace the stencil. I prefer the big Magnum Sharpies because they work the best and they leave a nice black mark on the window. Trace it on. Try to make your lines smooth as possible. So for those of you that have a hard time writing backwards, this is way easier. So there you have it. Now this one here, if you wanted, you could do it with a colored Posca pen so that you have a color there. Sometimes you miss something. Check before you start putting the paint on. So these are the paint pens that I use. One's a Posca, it's an acrylic pen, but you don't want to really paint over it because it can rub off. And one's a Sharpie. This is an oil-based, the Sharpie one. These are the two brands that I really like. There's many other brands you can use, paint pens, and they come in all different colors. And the oil base I like to use for putting inside for details, like highlights, so that I can paint over it without it coming off. And the Posca pens are great for doing other embellishments, like if you want to do vines or leaves, that type of thing. Now we're going to put the highlights in. So I always try and think of the sun coming from a certain angle. Works for me. And that's just as simple as that. It'll be dry in seconds. So yeah, this is just mixing a little bit of neon color in with a teal color. It was neon green and with some teal, and that's the color we got. Okay, so now that this black Sharpie is dry, which it doesn't take that long, probably about 5 minutes, we can just go over it with our pretty teal green with a little bit of neon in it. And you want to try and just make it so that your lines are smooth. And this just makes it so that it shows up a lot better. We call it making your window painting pop. You don't want to go back and forth over the Sharpie because you will rub it off. So you want nice smooth lines just over it once like that, because if you go back and forth over, it will rub it off. I'm gonna have to mix up a little more. Okay, we'll put a little bit of the teal color in. So it's about, I'd say, just a little under half of the neon and the teal. Now we're just going to go around the letters. And one of my rules of thumb when I'm going around stuff, if it's a really big object, I use a bigger brush. And if it's a smaller object, like here with the lettering, I use a smaller paintbrush. So if you're doing like a big, huge Santa or something, you'd want to use a bigger, wider brush for doing that. I'm going to do the yellow first because it's the lighter color. You probably don't need much. Now you can fill this all in with yellow or whatever color you want. And a little blue. Okay, now we're going to use our sponges, and this is how they start out, nice and flat as you can see. And now we're going to put them in the water and you'll see they expand. Pretty cool. Now what you want to do is you always want to squeeze them out quite a bit after you do that. There's one. So now we're going to do the big chick. You want to make sure you get all the water out. So you do need a fair amount of paint. You definitely want to put on gloves before doing this because it gets a bit messy. So we are going to do the little chick first. Sponge in the paint. Now you're going to have too much paint on it, so you want to dab it off with another sponge. In this case, we're just using a butterfly that we had handy. Okay, so now if it's too wet, it will slide down the window, and if it's not wet enough, it will also slide down the window. So you want to make sure you have the right amount of paint on it. And it takes a bit of practice, but you'll get the hang of it pretty quick. So we're going to put one here. And I think one over here. And how about we turn it around? And this is the cool thing about these sponges, is now I'm going to wet the other side. Got to make sure the whole thing's covered. I've got a spot there. There we go. And let's do that. The other way with it. And this is why you want to wear gloves. Because that's when it gets messy, is when you turn them. So there you got your little peeps on there. And we will just lay these down here. And now we're going to get a different color. And I'm thinking orange. And you can use whatever containers you have handy, really. Now this one we don't have to turn different ways because both ways are going to be the same. And that's how easy and simple your designs can be. So now we could just add a butterfly here, because we already have paint on it, and maybe an orange one over here. Oops, I wanted yellow. There we go, now we've got different colors. So you can mix and match your colors too. You could have half the butterfly orange and half of it yellow if you wanted. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to a little bit of black. We're going to give them little eyes. There we go, all done. And that didn't take all that long. I used this foam for taking the actual paint off. There's all different brands from Windex to, what's the other one? This Bonami is great. It's one of my favorites because it comes in a nice big can, so it goes a long ways. I use both of these. So I like to leave it sit on for like a few seconds, 30 seconds before I start scraping. Something really fun to do, and you can do it very quickly with these wonderful sponges that I've made. And there we go, all nice and clean and ready for another one. Thank you so much for watching.